3-0. A hat-trick from Lionel Messi, a record equaled. Argentina through, Algeria beaten. On paper, it looks like a straightforward result. A great player having a great night. The defending world champions doing what defending world champions do. But Algeria refused to let the paper tell the full story. Because what happened inside Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City on the 16th of June was not, in their view, simply a football match. It was a match shaped by decisions that should have changed everything. Decisions that, had they been made correctly, might have left Argentina playing more than an entire half with 10 men on the pitch. 3 days after the final whistle, the Algerian Football Federation sent a formal complaint to FIFA's headquarters in Zurich. Not a statement to the press, not a post on social media. A formal, documented, official protest, citing specific incidents, specific laws, and what they called preferential treatment for the sport's most famous player. The Desert Foxes have refused to stay silent, and the football world is asking a question that does not have a comfortable answer. Is Lionel Messi untouchable at the 2026 World Cup? Stay with us, because the story of what Algeria saw in Kansas City on Tuesday night is one of the most important conversations this tournament has yet produced. The 32nd minute. Algeria were still in the match, still competitive, still capable of making Argentina uncomfortable. Defender Issa Mandi, one of Algeria's most experienced players, went into a challenge with Lionel Messi. In the contact that followed, Messi's foot caught Mandi in the shin and Achilles tendon area, studs raised, weight behind it. Mandi went down immediately. He was briefly distressed on the ground, clutching his leg. Polish referee Szymon Marciniak blew for the foul, correctly. That part was not in dispute. What was in dispute is what happened next, or more precisely, what did not happen next. No card, no VAR review. No pause while the television match officials in the bunker assessed whether the challenge constituted reckless or excessive force. The free kick was given, the whistle went, and the match continued. Messi stayed on the pitch. The reaction was immediate. ESPN analysts were unsparing. Ale Moreno, watching the footage live, said without hesitation that it was 100% a red card for Lionel Messi. Nedum Onurha agreed. Andy Davis, a former select group referee with elite-level experience, told ESPN that Messi was simply lucky not to have been dismissed. FIFA Law 12 is explicit. It distinguishes between 3 levels of contact. Careless earns no sanction. Reckless earns a yellow. Excessive force, which the law defines as a player exceeding the necessary use of force and endangering the safety of an opponent, mandates a red card. If you are following every story of this World Cup, on the pitch and off it, subscribe now and hit the bell, because what Algeria are asking goes deeper than one tackle. The Algerian Football Federation's formal complaint to FIFA focuses on 2 specific incidents. The first is the Messi challenge in the 32nd minute. The second occurred in the 74th minute, a collision involving Argentine midfielder Alexis McAllister and young Algerian starlet Ibrahim Maza. McAllister, rising for a header, connected with his elbow directly to Maza's face. The Algerian player fell immediately. The officiating crew did not call a foul. No card was shown. The match moved on. The Federation's complaint, sent formally to Zurich, argues that these 2 incidents combined fundamentally altered the tactical landscape of the match. Their position is direct. Had the laws been applied correctly, Argentina could easily have played more than an entire half with 10 men on the pitch. Not a yellow card here or there, a red card. The world's most famous player, removed from a World Cup match before halftime. The football that might have followed that hypothetical is impossible to calculate. What is not impossible to calculate is this. Algeria, facing 10 men with a full second half ahead of them, would have been playing a different match entirely.
Algeria's head coach Vladimir Petkovic did not hold back after the final whistle. His words were measured but unmistakable. "There's no point in commenting on hypothetical situations," he said, "but absolutely everyone saw it, including me." Everyone. In the stadium, in the television studios, on the screens of every fan watching this World Cup around the world. Everyone saw it, except, apparently, the referee and the VAR officials watching the exact same footage. But the most striking intervention in this entire conversation did not come from Algeria. It came from South Africa. Hugo Bruce, the head coach of South Africa, spoke to reporters after his own team's matches and cited the Algeria-Argentina situation in the context of something he had witnessed directly in the opening match. His own player, Themba Zwane, had received a red card and a 3-match suspension for a foul in South Africa's match against Mexico on the opening day of the tournament. Coach Bruce looked at that red card, looked at the Messi challenge in Kansas City, and asked publicly how those two incidents could possibly be judged by different standards. Zwane is suspended for 3 matches. Messi received no card at all. The Zwane challenge and the Messi challenge were not identical. Football challenges rarely are. But the question Bruce was asking, the question Algeria are formally asking FIFA in writing, is whether the same laws of the game apply with the same rigor, regardless of who the player is and how many World Cup goals they have scored. That is not a comfortable question, but it is a legitimate one. And it is one that FIFA will now have to address because the Algerian Federation has made it impossible to ignore. The broader context of refereeing at this World Cup adds weight to what Algeria are arguing. France's Kylian Mbappé was denied a penalty in their opening match after a VAR review that many analysts described as incorrect. Multiple other controversial decisions have already been discussed across the tournament's opening week. The pattern, taken together, does not suggest that one player is being protected. It suggests that refereeing at the highest level of football is struggling with the weight of the moment, and that the biggest names in the sport attract the most scrutiny for exactly that reason. But struggling with consistency is not the same as applying the laws correctly. And if VAR exists, if the entire architecture of review technology was built to catch exactly this kind of incident, the kind a referee in real time might miss, then the question of why it did not intervene in the 32nd minute of Argentina versus Algeria is one that the VAR officials in the bunker and FIFA itself will need to answer. Messi's performance, divorced from the controversy, was extraordinary. His hat-trick tied him with Germany's Miroslav Klose on 16 World Cup goals, the all-time record. He became the first player in history to score against 11 different opponents at the World Cup. At 38 years old, he's writing records that no one born in this century has yet come close to threatening. His presence at this tournament is one of football's great gifts, the chance to watch the greatest player of his generation, possibly of any generation, in what may well be his final World Cup.
That greatness should be celebrated. It is being celebrated, but it cannot become a shield against the application of the laws that protect every player on every pitch, including the defenders who share a field with him. Issa Mandi is Algeria's captain. He is 32 years old and has given a decade of his career to representing his country at the highest level. He was on the floor in pain in Kansas City. The challenge that put him there went unpunished. He will be on that pitch again on the 24th of June when Algeria face Jordan, a match they must win to keep any realistic hope of advancement alive. Algeria go into that fixture with no points, with a hat-trick conceded to the greatest player on earth, with a formal complaint sitting in a Zurich office waiting for FIFA to respond, and with a coach who says everyone saw it and means it in the fullest possible sense. FIFA has not yet officially responded to the complaint. The organization has confirmed receipt. Standard post-match assessment procedures are underway, as they are for every match in the tournament. Whether those procedures will produce any acknowledgement that the officiating in Kansas City fell short of what the laws require, that remains to be seen. What is already certain is that Algeria chose to act, to document, to send it to Zurich in formal language and demand that football's governing body engage with what happened. They could have released a statement and moved on. They chose instead to put their objection on record, in a way that FIFA cannot file away and forget. The Desert Foxes have refused to stay silent, and in doing so, they have opened a conversation about refereeing consistency at the 2026 World Cup that will not close until FIFA gives them an answer worth reading. The match result will not change. The 3 goals stand. The hat-trick is in the record books. But the question Algeria have placed on FIFA's desk is not about the score. It is about something more fundamental. Whether the laws of football apply to everyone equally. Whether the greatest player in the world plays by the same rules as the defender on the floor in pain. Algeria is waiting. So is the rest of football.